To all my Jewish friends, my Jewish brothers and sisters, stand tall. Stand tall. Do not let this fear, this sadness, this anxiety, and this dread overwhelm you. Draw strength from your family, from your friends, from your ancestors, and the worldwide bond that we share that has always put the battery in your back. We're used to being looked at as different because that's what we are. We are different, and that's a good thing. I know that Jews are looked at as weak, but we're stronger than you can imagine. That's why you hurl propaganda that we control all the money, that we control all the money, that we control all the money. We control the media because it's plausible. It's plausible because we're just that good. Smart, compassionate, moral, and strong people. And we need to stand taller than ever against all those sick, dumb, uneducated black tar in their blood who hate Jews because they ain't. You hate us because you ain't us. It's always been hurled our way. Hate, prejudice has always been hurled our way. And a lot of times we deal with it with compassion or the understanding that it might be mental illness, or the understanding that it might be mental illness, or the understanding that it might be mental illness. Never again, you. Anyone saying to me, be on the right side of history, knowing what side I'm on, means you're on the wrong side of history, which means you're on the side of terrorists, murderers, rapists who would burn and behead you and your family. They would love to burn and behead you and your family. There's only right or wrong right now. You either support a caring community or you support extremist exterminators. Never again. Never again. Never again. Yo, if 20 American tourists, 20 American tourists, forget the 1,200 people that were murdered, slaughtered, civilians. If 20 American civilians, all African American, all black, all ages, were taken hostage, and 10 of them were murdered and raped, and there was 10 surviving American tourist hostages that were all black. There's not one film in this country that would be talking about ceasefire. There's not one person. It would be bring the hostages back, and they better be alive. They better be pristine. There wouldn't be no ceasefire. There would be no rally. Can you imagine college students ripping down posters of 10 black people from America if they were taken hostage and 10 others were raped and murdered? Nobody would be saying this. The African American community would be demanding they came back. White people, black people, Jewish people would be demanding they come back. There wouldn't be a discussion of a ceasefire. That's a fact. Nobody can tell me that is not a fact. Forget the 1,200 other people that were murdered. I'm talking about just 10. Forget the 1,200 other people that were murdered. I'm talking about just 10. Forget the 1,200 other people that were murdered. I'm talking about just 10.
Now, an Israeli newspaper is reporting that an Israeli army helicopter may have fired on partygoers at the dance festival that was attacked by Hamas fighters on October the 7th. More than 360 people were killed at the festival in southern Israel. Haaretz is quoting an unnamed police source citing an investigation. Well, according to the paper, a combat helicopter arriving at the scene fired on Hamas fighters and apparently also hit some festival participants. The paper also says Hamas did not plan the attack on the Nova Music Festival, but chose to do it spontaneously. Let's speak now to Hamda Salhout. She's in occupied East Jerusalem for us. So pretty extraordinary revelations, Hamda. Talk to us about this investigation that's being reported.
Well, a few different findings in this police report that was leaked by an official to Haaretz. The first one was that Hamas's attack on the Nova Music Festival on October 7th was not premeditated, and there wasn't really a way for them to have prior knowledge about the festival, specifically on that Saturday, because the organizers for the event requested an extension of the party. So it was actually only supposed to be held on Thursday and Friday, but after approval from the army, it was also extended to Saturday. The second revelation was that an Israeli attack helicopter that was dispatched to shoot on Hamas fighters at the scene may have apparently killed some Israelis fleeing the area as well. And the third thing that it mentions, the security officials are now sure in their assertion, according to the sources in the Haaretz piece, that there were around 4,400 festival goers, and that the party actually ended once the red alert sirens and interceptions were heard overhead, and that the gunfire happened 30 minutes later. So in the beginning stages, when the rocket fire was happening, that's actually when most of the people began to flee. And then 30 minutes after is when the exchanges of fire started to happen.
I don't compare tragedies, 9/11 versus the Oklahoma City bombing versus this, that, and the third. If it was just 10 African American people, they would be demanding, everybody would be demanding, get them back, get them back, get them back. The word ceasefire wouldn't be in the vernacular. It'd be like, ravage the place until they come back, and they better come back safe and sound.
Don't you know he controls you? You ain't nothing without that. You're nothing. You're nothing. You're a slave, man. I'll fucking take my belt off, man. I'll make you my monkey.
Michael Rapaport went on another racist rant, insinuating that the world's approach to the Israeli-Hamas situation would be completely different had it been 10 Negroes who were being held hostage by Hamas. This racist actually had the gall to insinuate that Negro lives are supposedly more valuable than the Jews. Show me. When did the world push for a ceasefire after 100+ million Negroes were kidnapped, raped, murdered, and enslaved by all the countries of the world, including his people? Show me. When did the world push for a ceasefire during the Black Holocaust? Show me. When did the world push for a ceasefire when Jews such as Isaac DaCosta, David Franks, Aaron Lopez, and other Jews dominated the transatlantic world war, now dumbed down to being labeled as a transatlantic slave trade? Show me. When did the world call for a ceasefire when King Leopold II massacred 15 to 20 million Congo people? Show me. When did the world demand for a ceasefire when the slave owners, which includes the Jewish ones, raped our women? Show me. When did the world demand for a ceasefire as our children were being used for alligator bait? Show me. When did the world demand a ceasefire when 36 of our communities were bombed and raided by the military and the local law enforcement? Who created and benefited from blackface? Who dominated the blackface minstrels? That's right, it was a Jewish man by the name of Al Jolson, who at the time was called the world's greatest entertainer. How much generational wealth was created off the backs of the Negro? Show me. When did the Negroes ever enslave anyone from your community? Show me. When were your people ever called property or animals? Show me how many people from your community was lynched in comparison to the Negro. Yet you want to push a narrative that things would be completely different had it been 10 Negroes who were held hostage. Do you know that it was a transaction that consisted of 10 Negro slaves that the Moors exchanged to the Portuguese for Moorish prisoners of war that helped spearhead the transatlantic World War? Please. What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.